Hi, my name is Maliha. I got 10 grade 9s in my GCSEs, and today I'm going to share my advice with you guys on how you can achieve similar grades. I just want to quickly say that if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments or you can email me. My email is in my channel bio. So let's get straight into it. In terms of revising, how long you need to revise, at this stage it should be around 5 to 6 hours every day. No less than 4, because you need to be revising a good amount. If you revise less than 4 hours at this stage, when we're 2 weeks away from exams, you're not really giving yourself the best possible chance to unlock your full potential. And no more than 7, because if you're revising for more than 7 hours a day, you're going to burn yourself out, or you're far more likely to. This 5 to 6 hours of revision needs to be split up with regular breaks in between. I was using the Pomodoro technique, so how that works is I'd have 25 minutes of studying, a 5-minute break, another 25 minutes, and then a 15-minute break. And in that 5-minute break, I would play like games like Snake on Google and stuff like that. And that way I'd refresh my mind, so I'm not going to be constantly losing concentration, and the revision time that I put in is going to be far more quality. My revision at this stage was split into 2 parts. So there was my daily revision that I'd be doing every single day, and then the rest of my revision would be subject specific depending on the day. For example, if it was Monday, I'd be doing maths. So let's start with my daily revision first of all. So for me, that took about an hour, and it was mainly flashcards. So for English, it was my key quotes. Science, it was general content knowledge. And for maths, it was key theoretical knowledge. And I was also doing history, key dates and facts. I was doing that every day, those flashcards. Basically, your daily revision is going to be focused on those subjects that you know require daily attention. So ideally, I'd recommend doing the core subjects, so maths, English, science, and then any other subject. For example, history, I knew that I'd be struggling to remember the key dates and stuff because there's so many key dates, so I was doing those flashcards every day. If you don't have flashcards because you haven't been making them or for whatever reason, then you can try doing blurting in your daily revision instead. So for English, maths and science, just pick 2 to 3 random topics every day and then blurt them out. If you can do more than 2 to 3, even better, but blurt out those topics. You can choose them at random from like the specification or the contents page of the textbooks. And then I'd recommend setting a timer of like 5 to 10 minutes on your phone, so that way you don't end up waffling on for ages and ages and ages, because you don't want to be spending too long on one topic. At this stage, we only have 2 weeks left, so you need to be, going through topics faster. Okay, so that's the daily revision. Now, before we move on to subject-specific revision and my advice for each subject, I just want to quickly say that if you're struggling with your GCSEs and you're really worried about your exam, you can actually have a free one-to-one tuition session on LessonWise, and I'm one of the tutors on there, so you could potentially get matched with me and have a free one-to-one session with me where we can go through your week topics, any of your exam concerns, any questions, anything you're stressed about, and just build up your exam confidence. And it's all for free. And these other tutors on there, they know their stuff. I'm talking Oxbridge graduates, examiners. It's a free lesson at the end of the day, so you might as well take it. If you're interested, go to the description of this video. I've left a link in there, my own personal link, so if you click on that, you'll be able to fill out a form. It takes 30 seconds just so that they can match you with a tutor and get you started. I wouldn't want you guys to miss out on that, so pause the video now and go do that now. And of course, if you want to continue on with more lessons with them in the future, you can have paid one-to-one sessions, or you can have group sessions, which are cheaper. And they do giveaways, or they give away free AirPods and Amazon vouchers. You wouldn't regret it if you went with them. They're a really good tutoring company. They're the perfect tutors to go with if you want to get your grades up to scratch before these exams in these crucial final weeks. Okay, that's that. Now let's get back to the video. Now, in terms of specific revision for each subject, you need to first of all obviously plan like what days you're going to be doing what subject. So what I was doing was I just had a general weekly revision timetable that I was following every day. So I had like maths on Monday, English on Tuesday, etc. But some people may prefer to plan out what they're going to be doing day by day. So what you can do is you can get yourself a calendar, or you don't have to get a physical one, you can get Google Calendar, that's obviously for free. You'd write in your exam dates, and then around the days that you've got your exams and in the 2 weeks before them, you'd write on each day what subject you're going to be doing, and that's going to be based on what subjects you're prioritizing. So if you're doing, for example, maths in college, you obviously need to prioritize maths. So the subjects you need for college, those are your top priority, and your core subjects as well. Everything else, you'd rank them based on difficulty or your mock grades, and then you'd fill them in on the days of your calendar accordingly. Take the time to plan that out, because then it will also prevent you from getting overwhelmed, because you can just take each day as it comes. You're not going to be focusing on everything you have to revise for. You're just going to be focusing on what you're going to be revising for that day. So it prevents you from burning out in that way and procrastinating because of stress. Now, in terms of what I did for each subject, for English, I was mainly doing past papers at this stage, and I was getting my teacher to mark it and give me feedback on it. For maths, my revision was also past papers. I was doing a maths past paper every single day, actually. My teacher would print them out. You don't have to do an entire past paper. You can do topic-based past papers as well on specific topics. You can find them on Corbett Maths. That's a really good site. I highly recommend it. And then once you mark them, any mistakes you've made, write it down on a document and then read through that document of mistakes every day. That way you're going to be able to remember next time you sit down for your mock paper, or your past paper, sorry, that, oh yeah, I made a mistake here, and you're far less likely to keep repeating those mistakes. For science, again, I'd recommend doing past papers. That's what I was doing. And again, make a document of your mistakes that you've been making in your past papers and read through that every day. And also, I recommend this channel called Science and Maths House by Primrose Kitten. She does these binge revision videos where she condenses massive topics, like multiple massive topics, into 1 hour long videos. And you know, there's so much content in science. Those videos really helped me to quickly identify topics that I was weak at and topics that I didn't really understand fully, because you know, those massive topics were put into 1 hour long videos, so it saved me so much time. But don't do that on its own. Do it obviously alongside your active recall, so your flashcards and your blurting. It's just something to help you quickly identify your knowledge gaps. And for history, citizenship, and my other subjects, again, I was mainly spamming out past papers. At this stage, past papers is the main form of revision. And then basically, once you do the past papers, if they're essay based, get your teacher to mark them. If they're non-essay based, make a document list of all the mistakes you've been making and read through that document every day. You need to be making sure you're doing it under timed conditions as well, so you can learn to manage your exam time, because obviously, especially if it's essay based, you don't want to be running out of time in your exam. So make sure you're practicing under timed conditions now, so you learn how to manage your time effectively. One bonus tip that I can offer as well is get a voice recorder app on your phone. There's normally a default one built into it anyway, and record yourself reading your notes and your flashcards. Then as you go about your day-to-day activities, like as you're doing chores, going to school, coming back from school, plug in your headphones and listen to yourself reading those notes and flashcards. It's just an extra way to maximize your revision time at this stage, because you know, obviously we only have 2 weeks left, so it's a little way to just, you know, add extra revision in there into those little gaps during the day, obviously alongside your other revisions, so flashcards, blurting, and past papers. And yeah, that's all the advice that I have to offer. Again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, or you can email me. And remember, if you want to get your free lesson and access higher quality tutoring, go to the description and fill out the form. It takes 30 seconds. And yeah, good luck with your exams, you got this, and yeah, bye guys.